Revenge doesn't always have to be pro or nuclear to be good. No, sometimes it can be petty, like you'll see in this episode of Petty Revenge. Our first one is from Cyan000. I stopped at one of those candy stores inside malls you always see with tons of bins of random candy and the bags you can fill up yourself with the tongs, and you get charged some crazy price by the pound. On this visit, they seemed to be running a special. Next to where the bags were kept to fill up your candy, they had a sign saying free cups to store your candy, so I opted for that instead of the bag, knowing they would still weigh the cup anyways. When I got to the counter and they weighed the candy, the total came up on the register, but I had to question them since I may not have heard the price right, which was about double what I was expecting. I asked how much candy they weighed and what the price breakdown was. The two clerks behind the register looked irritated that I had to question them, but gave me the weight and also added that they charged me several dollars for the cheap plastic cup that was supposed to be free. Aren't those cups supposed to be free? I asked.
No, they're not free. They're $4.
There is a big sign saying free cups.
No, there isn't.
At this point, I walk over and point to the sign that said free.
Oh, well, we used to have free cups, but we ran out, so we put jars there instead.
Isn't that a bit misleading?
No, because these are jars.
Wouldn't it be fair to say someone looking at a sign that says free cups and sees a plastic container where the sign is assume that it's a cup?
No, because it's not a cup.
There is nothing else around the sign, only the containers and a sign that says free. No response. I was getting nowhere. Fine, I'll just dump the candy in the bag and you can keep the jar.
No, you can't do that because you already touched the jar and we can't sell it to someone else now.
They said smugly, expecting my defeat. I realized they didn't have my credit card at this point yet. Okay, then just keep the candy too. Bye. They realized they would now need to toss out both the candy and the jar I had at this point, and I could feel the daggers being stared at me as I walked out. You know, I've never really understood the argument, we can't sell that to someone else, you touched it, when people constantly go in places all the time, touch everything almost, don't buy it, but yet the companies have no problem selling those items. Now I understand a cup is opened, but still, it's kind of the same concept. This next one is by Regan201937. I recently resigned from my job. I was just tired and burnt out, and my CEO kept pushing me hard, telling me to drive further, and that's just how it was. I was also moving house, and commuting to work would be another 30 minutes on top of 1.5 hours I'm already doing, so enough was enough. I got so tired that I resigned. I hadn't got another job lined up. That's fine. I was okay financially. As soon as I resigned, my CEO called me into the office 20 minutes later and asked me to leave straight away, escorted me off the site like a criminal, and wouldn't even let me say bye to people, touch my laptop, clear my desk. It was like I was being fired. It was so embarrassing. Not one from work got in touch to see if I was okay, as he went around telling everyone he fired me and saying,
"It went pear-shaped with her at the end, so I had to let her go."
Fast forward a few weeks. Well, I did find another job, with one of my ex-employer's clients that used their service to do their emergency training for them, first aid and fire training. And now I'm in charge of who we use as our contractors. My new boss said, "Well, we normally use your old company at a cost of $37,000 a year, but if you know another company that is better, then switch. I have no loyalty to them." Well, switch I have done. If my old boss hadn't treated me so badly, I definitely would have used their services, but treat me like that and say goodbye to a client. It would be funny if the CEO found out that their actions are the reason why their business was no longer needed. I don't give a shit if you're a CEO or a homeless person. Treat others the way you want to be treated because you have no idea how karma will slap you. This next one is from Duke Devlin Official. I was contacted by an obvious scammer the other day. They asked for $160 and I went along with it. I got their Cash App and sent them $1 instead of 160, lulling them into a false belief that they are smart and I am dumb. They were all like,
Wrong amount, but I got the dollar you sent. Can you send me $159 and it will still be fine?
So I typed in $159 on Cash App, then pressed request instead of send. Pretty sure they didn't read it. They definitely just clicked accept instead of decline, and I proceeded to block the lowlife scammer $159 richer. You know the best part with something like this? What recourse does the scammer have? They were already doing something against the law, so what, are they gonna call the police, tell the police that they were scamming other people and they in fact got scammed? Beautiful. This next one is by Upward Spiral Zero. I'm living in a student apartment with 2 other female students. They would always stay up late until like 2 a.m. and make noise, constantly hurting my sleep schedule and also my ability to do well in exams. I confronted them numerous times about this and I got some disgusting reactions. They would also leave the kitchen full of unwanted dishes. Like, I cannot remember when was the last time I actually saw the bottom of the sink. They would deliberately leave the key to the apartment door inside the lock so that I couldn't come in without ringing the bell and waiting for them to open the door for me. I came to a conclusion that my best choice here would be to find a new apartment. So I have a few more days left until I leave, and this weekend I'm all alone in the apartment until Sunday, and I noticed an increasing presence of ants all over our dirty kitchen. As I said, they always leave the sink dirty with unwanted dishes, so ants started coming up lately and they are actually swarming the sink. At first, when I realized that, I was like, fuck this, I need to kill them. But then I thought to myself, why would I care? I'm leaving in a few days, they can roam around all they want. And then I realized that I have the apartment for myself for the weekend. So I did something very kind towards the ants, but very evil towards my roommates. Instead of getting rid of them, I started feeding them. Every couple of hours I would leave them a spoon of brown sugar near the sink where they were already gathered. I'm hoping they will grow into a big colony. Go ants! Update: I started leaving them small chunks of pistachio nuts and they went wild for them. The only thing is that they seem to be having a hard time moving them around, even though I made sure they would be small pieces. I added some photos of them using some teamwork. Oh yeah, look at those ants go. And those roommates aren't gonna be happy, but you know what? Maybe, after this, they'll realize that they live in filthy conditions and maybe clean up after themselves. And our final one is from Redditor807. Guy is obnoxious to a young woman at Home Depot. I get revenge for her. Obligatory, this happened about a week ago. The guy in his maybe late 60s is acting like a jerk to the young lady working the self-checkout machines and how they're not working, and how he hates everything about them and wishes they were removed in favor of cashiers again, like the old days. This guy did not need to go to the forced self-checkout machine area staffed by this woman. There was literally 2 other employees attending to 2 other checkouts 10 and 20 feet away, and if he felt like walking for 10 seconds, there was a 3rd lane open with nobody on there, on the other side of the seasonal stuff, at the front. So he's basically screaming at this woman for no reason. It's not her fault. She didn't design the store. She didn't make the self-checkout machines, and she also didn't piss in his Cheerios that morning. But nevertheless, he's getting belligerent and unloading on her. I was at the register next to him, but opposite, in the 4-machine corral. I turned and discreetly said to her, "You're alright, need me to step in?" She quietly gave me a relaxed and very in control, "No, thank you though," with a friendly head nod. Despite his behavior, she was in total control of this situation, and the sad thing is, he probably wasn't the first or last rude customer she's dealt with. He finishes paying about 30 seconds ahead of me, and on the way to the door, I hear him say, albeit much quieter but still plenty loud for her and others to hear, "Thanks for your help, cunt." As I'm walking out of the door, seriously deciding if I'm about to fight, and probably get whipped in the process, I see him about 50 feet ahead in the parking lot, and see while juggling his wood pieces in his bags, he drops his car keyring with about 30 other keys on it, 3 feet from a parking lot storm drain. I'm so excited, I'm almost shaking. It's like the heavens opened up and told that woman, I'm going to fix this for you. So I did what any helpful 30-year-old would do, and I gently half-kicked them off the side of my boot towards the drain. They hit one of the grate openings, and I heard the most satisfying splash of my life. The best part was that the water was pitch black and down a few feet, so you're not seeing anything when you look straight down. Checkmate, Home Depot lady. Edit to add, just to answer a couple questions I've seen come up a few times. 1. I didn't hang around to watch him look for his keys. 2. I also didn't go back inside the store to let the woman know anything about this. 3. I definitely was not trying to be condescending towards her by asking if she needed any help. I'm not a fighter and wanted no part of anything physical, but his tone was amping up and something about the interaction felt worse than your average asshole customer. 4. One person said I charge around looking for ways to abuse the elderly. You're respectfully insane. Had he had any type of interaction with the employee other than what he had, I would have shouted, "Hey man, you dropped your keys," and picked them up and walked towards him. You know, being respectful and treating people, with respect how you'd like to be treated goes a long way, and them doing the same towards you. If you're gonna walk around and be a pompous asshole to everybody, don't expect those people to bend over backwards or do anything nice to help you. This is just a prime example of kind of what goes around comes around, and in this case, the revenge and karma was instant. Alright, that's enough revenge for the day. Well, that wraps up this episode of Petty Revenge. If you liked the video, please drop a like, share my content on all of your social media, subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure to hit that bell so you're notified every time I upload, and drop a comment down below. It really helps with the algorithm and helps new people find my channel. Thanks for watching, thanks to my patrons, have a great day and stay safe out there.